What is political realism? Political realism is a perspective that emphasizes the role of power and national interest in shaping international relations and political decision-making. It is based on the idea that the international system is characterized by anarchy, meaning that there is no central authority to enforce international law or order. In this context, states must rely on their own power and resources to protect their interests and ensure their security. Political realism has been influential in the field of international relations and has shaped the foreign policies of many countries. Political realism is often associated with a skeptical view of international cooperation and the belief that states will only cooperate when it serves their own interests. Political realism considers moral principles and ideals, such as justice and human rights, to be secondary to the pursuit of national interest and the maintenance of international stability. There are several key tenets of political realism. Number 1. States are the primary actors in international politics. Political realism assumes that states are the primary actors in international relations and that their behavior is primarily motivated by self-interest. This means that states will act in ways that they believe will best serve their own interests, even if this means disregarding the interests or values of other states or international organizations. Number 2. International relations are a struggle for power. Political realism holds that international relations are fundamentally a struggle for power, and that states will seek to increase their power and influence in order to advance their own interests. This can involve the use of military force, economic coercion, or diplomatic pressure to achieve their goals. Number 3. National interest is the primary goal of political action. Political realism asserts that national interest is the primary goal of political action, and that states will prioritize their own interests above all else. This can lead to a focus on short-term goals and a lack of concern for the long-term consequences of political actions. Number 4. Moral principles and ideals are secondary to the pursuit of national interest. Political realism suggests that moral principles and ideals, such as justice and human rights, are secondary to the pursuit of national interest and the maintenance of international stability. Number 5. International cooperation is limited by self-interest. Political realism is often associated with a skeptical view of international cooperation and the belief that states will only cooperate when it serves their own interests. This can lead to a lack of trust and cooperation between states and a focus on short-term goals, rather than long-term solutions to global problems. Political thinkers who have contributed to the development of realist thought. Thucydides, a Greek historian and general who is considered one of the founders of political realism. His work, The History of the Peloponnesian War, is a classic study of the causes and consequences of war. Niccolò Machiavelli, an Italian political philosopher and diplomat who is often associated with political realism. His work, The Prince, is a classic study of the use of power and the pursuit of national interest. Hans Morgenthau, a German-American political scientist who is considered one of the founders of modern political realism. He wrote Politics Among Nations. Kenneth Waltz, an American political scientist who is considered one of the leading figures in the development of neo-realism. He published The Theory of International Politics. Neo-realism. Classical realism has faced multiple challenges. Later, a neo-realism, also known as structural realism, is developed to add a structural dimension, unlike traditional political realism. which emphasizes the role of the state as a unitary actor. Neo-realism emphasizes the role of the international system in shaping state behavior. According to neo-realism, the structure of the international system, including the distribution of power among states and the level of anarchy, plays a significant role in shaping the behavior of states. States are assumed to be rational actors that will pursue their own self-interest within the constraints of the international system. Common criticisms of political realism. Pessimistic view of international relations. Narrow emphasis on power in national interest, and a lack of concern of other non-state actors. De-emphasize the role of moral values. A lack of trust and cooperation between states. Failure to account the complexity and interconnected nature of global politics. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment on this channel.